Hey, ladies, I'm going to go to speaker view here. So when Melissa starts talking, you'll be able to see her gorgeous face. So I am so excited that Melissa is taking the time to jump on our call today. As you know, she is a six-star diamond coach. She is a two-time elite coach. But what I love most about her is just her vision, her drive, and where she's leading her ladies. You know, her biggest vision with Beachbody is to really, truly help them to get where she's at. She's a mama of three, and I'll let her explain all that. But she has been able to be home with her kids for quite some time now. So, Melissa, without further ado, why don't you go ahead and jump in? And then, of course, I know you're going to speak. And then, if you don't mind, just taking like 5 to 10 minutes for questions and answers.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, perfect. Time is all yours, girl.
Okay, thanks. So thanks for the introduction too. And I'll just kind of start from there, I guess, because when I became a coach, so I've been a coach for a little over 4 years. I joined in December 2015. Hey, Libby. There's going to be background noise, guys. I have 3 kids, like Britt said. And at the time when I became a coach, I had just had a second baby. She was 4 months old. And I was working full time, and I was the head volleyball coach. Like, my life was chaos. It was so crazy. And I was a teacher. And so we were living like paycheck to paycheck. And honestly, the main goal that I had when I became a coach was income. I needed to bring in extra income for our family because we were just barely scraping by. And that was not the life that I had envisioned for us. It wasn't that we weren't happy. We were happy. It wasn't that we weren't able to do things that we wanted to do. I mean, we are very blessed, and I think what we wanted the most was just to not have to stress. We didn't want to stress about the money. We didn't want to stress about where we were going to get the money, or taking money out of our savings, or if we were ever going to be able to buy a bigger car for our family, or whatever it was that came up. So when I became a coach, I had a big vision for what it could do for us. I didn't understand it all. Like, I'll be the first to admit, it's embarrassing now, but I didn't even know I was opening up like my own business. I thought like I was just going to be on like a contract or something. Like, I didn't do my research. I just had a lot of belief. I knew that it would be something that would change our lives. And so that's kind of where it all started, and that's kind of how I jumped all in. And from that very first day, I knew that this was going to be an opportunity that I would have to put in the work. It wasn't going to be something that was handed to me. It wasn't going to be something that was easy. I knew I was going to have to learn a lot because I had no social media background. I didn't even like Facebook. I had just started Instagram. Like, I didn't understand any of it. And I think the best thing you can do when you're coming into the business is be open-minded. Be open-minded to learning, be open-minded to change. And that is where the growth happens. And so Britt asked me to talk a little bit about leadership and kind of some of the things that I have done in the past couple of years, because my first year was all learning. It was really all just figuring it out. And after that first year, when I saw like the money that residual income start to grow, I was like, oh, I guess I should probably really work at this. I really should probably invest in time and figure out how this is going to change our lives. So I worked full time for 2.5 years while I was a coach. In July of 2015 is when I came home from my job. So it's 2.5 years after I became a coach. And so these are the tips that I've been really thinking over the last week since Britt asked me to talk on leadership. What were some of the things that I have been doing in the past 1.5 years to help my leaders to grow? And these are some of the things, these are 5 tips I've come up with that you can grow as a leader yourself and also help your leaders to grow with you. Okay. So the first one, and this is, I think, been the biggest change for me. And so I'll just give you the tips and then I'll share kind of why I think these are the top tips for me. The first one is to lead mindset. When I first became a coach, I was in the teaching world. It was pretty negative. So I felt like a negative person. I felt like I was always complaining about my job. I was never looking for solutions. I wasn't being a problem solver. I wasn't looking to make my situation better. Instead, I was just kind of following the rest of the teachers and being pretty negative about our circumstances. Teachers in Utah make like $30,000 a year. And we had that income, and my husband was making about the same as me. So we were raising 2 kids on a $60,000 income, and we were really struggling. And so I was just in such a negative place, and I wanted to change. I wanted to be positive, but I was having a very hard time doing that. So insert Beachbody, insert personal development, insert an amazing community of positivity. And I made a conscious decision, like, I'm not going to be negative anymore. I'm going to feed positivity to all of my coaches. And it took me a year and a half to really recognize that that's what I needed to instill in them. But when you think about what you believe in, when you think about the qualities that you want your coaches to possess, you have to be those qualities. You have to show those qualities in yourself in order to attract those same qualities to your team. So do you believe in the business you're building? I'll tell you honestly, in my first year, I don't know if I believed in it. I remember talking to Jeff about 9 or 10 months into the business, and Josie's going to crawl in here, you guys, so you're going to get to see her. 9 or 10 months into the business, I told Jeff, I think I might quit. I don't think I'm good at this. Like, it wasn't a natural thing for me. I was not good at social media. I think I copied and pasted most of my upline's posts, not lying. I just changed my name for some of her words. I was just so not in the right mindset. I didn't understand it, and I wasn't trying to understand it. I was just trying to make it easy. And I wasn't as successful as I know I could have been because of that mindset. So do you believe in the business that you're building? Because if you don't, do you think you're going to attract people who believe in the business that they're going to be building? You are what you attract. You've probably heard that a million times before. The second part of that tip, leading with a positive mindset, is, do you believe in your coaches? Do you believe that they can do the same things you have done? Once I had that mindset shift, like, this is possible for any person, no matter what background, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from, this is possible for any one person. And I started speaking belief into them, sharing my vision with my coaches and helping to build their vision. That's when they started to become more successful. That's when they started to believe in themselves. And I think that was where my coach really helped me. She really took me aside and said, Melissa, you have so much potential. You have so much potential, but you're not living up to it. And Brittany has really helped me with this, because I really struggle with calling people out. I really struggle with being true, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. That's my problem. I'm too soft. And once I started, Brittany really taught me to speak from the heart. Once I started speaking to my coaches and saying, hey, I really just want to share with you, from my heart, things that I'm feeling, and get your perspective. I started having real conversations with them, talking to them about what their potential is. And all of a sudden, they started to believe in themselves. They started to see the vision that I saw for them without feeling like I was attacking them, without feeling like they were letting me down or something, because that wasn't it at all. I think sometimes we just have the hardest time seeing our own potential, seeing the positive things that lie within our businesses. And then, so the third tip is, do you share that belief with them? And if you haven't, like Brittany did with me, really open up and say, hey, can I just get real with you for a minute? Can we have an honest conversation? Because I have so much belief in you, and I want you to see what is possible for you. And then show your team your vision. Really open up. Because so often I felt like I kind of kept that to myself. I was scared that I would fail, and then they would know, because they knew what my vision was, and they would maybe see that I didn't accomplish that, or, whatever it was. For example, last year, I started the year as a 5-star diamond. Last year, I finished the year as a 5-star diamond. That wasn't my goal. My goal wasn't to stay right where I was at, but my team knows, and they have known from since that 1-year mark, what my goal has been. And immediately, once I started to share with them the vision and talking to my new coaches and speaking belief into them, all of a sudden they are recruiting so much more. They're building a really solid foundation on their team rather than building with discount coaches or building with people who don't have that belief and then seeing it crumble and having to rebuild and seeing it crumble and having to rebuild, because that can be discouraging. Now they're building with so much confidence. They're building with other coaches who have confidence, and their teams are much stronger, and they have so much more belief in what they're in this business that they're building. My second tip is to build a cohesive team with collaboration at its core. This is something that I've changed in just the past 6 months, and I've seen a huge, huge difference in my team. And I can't take credit for it because it's something I heard Melanie Mitchell say that last year she really focused on doing all of the things that she was doing before on her own, now with her team. And she's giving them leadership roles and giving them responsibilities that she used to take on for herself. And so that's kind of something that I began to implement into my team. We do sneak peeks all together. We do, trainings all together. And I give them the opportunity to train, because when we train, we feel more confident, even though we might not feel confident in doing that. We gain confidence and we kind of grow as we go. So be collectively positive and build belief together, and really allow for your leaders to lead with you. And I'm sure you guys have heard a lot of coaches say, we're locking arms, and it really is that, locking arms, walking side by side. It's not one leader in front, it's leaders all in a line. And I think once you have that mindset and your team is all on the same page, you will all grow together, and you'll see your team or the leaders on your team build leaders in their teams. And one thing that I have done consciously is I don't have threads where it's just my coaches. It's every single person in my downline who is, in that stage of their business. So every single emerald in my downline is in this message thread, and we're all leaders training and teaching and helping them to grow and learn the business. And once they hit diamond, all of the diamonds in our business, not in my business, in our team, they're all on this message thread. And so we're all growing and we're all teaching and we're all leading together. So all of the leaders are in each thread. All of their coaches are in the threads. And we are doing this as a team. It's not just one individual who's, trying to train and lead and grow their leaders. We're all doing it together. And I think that's been such a game changer, because when people join your team, they are joining a community. They're joining, they want to have that group of, we call it a girl gang, but it's like they want that feeling of being accepted and of growing together. And it's more than just, not everyone joins because of income. Not everyone joins because they want to lose weight. They each have their own individual goals with this. And so when we're all doing it together, we can kind of link arms and lead and grow with one another. And what's really cool is then as those leaders grow, they start to funnel in their leaders. And so it's just a continual growth and a process that I think has worked really well for our team. Number 3, my third tip, and this one I think is for sure common sense, but sometimes we lose sight of it, is to lead by example. I know that you guys have probably heard the saying, like, do as I say, not as I do. That's never going to work in this business. So it's do as I do. And I come from a teaching background, like you guys know. And one of the strategies or I don't know, one of the, what's the word I was thinking of earlier, methods that we used in teaching is called an I do, we do, you do method. So if you're a teacher, you probably have heard this. And this has worked really well with our team. And I think with anyone. So like with power hours, and this is something I can't take credit either. Brittany also, in the many years we've been working together, taught me this with the power hour. But don't just tell your coaches to do a power hour. Sometimes they don't know what it looks like. Sometimes they think they know what it looks like, but they really don't know what it looks like. And so do power hours together. Our team now is doing power hours together. So I do my own power hour. I do a power hour with my team. And then the rest of the week, I tell them, you know what, this is what it looks like. You guys do your own power hours throughout the rest of the week as well. So they see and they get a feel for how, sorry, I thought she was going to cry, for how it should look like and what types of things they need to be doing, how you can be very intentional. And it doesn't have to take 2 hours or 3 hours. It can all be done in that 1 hour as long as you're focused and working. And I think it allows for them to then say, okay, I can teach my coaches how to do this because it's nothing tricky. There's no, I get a lot of coaches are like, what does your power hour look like? I'm like, it looks the exact same as your power hour. I just focus and get it done. And I make sure that it's very intentional. And they think there's this secret or there's this special, like script or something that I'm using, and it's not. For one, just be real, teach your team to be real, and how it looks and how to get it done. This scaffolding approach is really going to instill belief in them because they're going to see what you're doing and they're going to say, hey, look what she's built. This is what she's doing. I can do that. And as they grow and learn and do their power hour and talk with people like they're real people, they're going to then recruit coaches who want to do that same thing. They're going to recruit people who are looking to be real, to really, truly help others, whether it's in their health and fitness or in their financial lives, and building this business. If you're not hitting Success Club 10, you need to be. And I say that because one thing that I have found is my coaches hit, or I'm saying that backward. It's usually when I hit a certain number of SC, my coaches are hitting half of that. If I'm hitting Success Club 5, my coaches are hitting SC2. If I'm hitting SC10, my coaches are hitting SC5. If I'm hitting 20, my coaches are hitting 10. So if you really want to show your team how to be an awesome leader, how to grow an awesome team, you need to be helping more people and showing them that this is possible for anyone. You guys, there are so many people who need help. It's ridiculous how many people have never even heard of Beachbody. Never even heard of it. I know we think like everyone's heard of 21 Day Fix. Everyone's heard of 80-Day Obsession. It's crazy because they really haven't. And we just have to find the people. You have to go and find the people who haven't. So double what you expect from your leaders. That is, I think, a huge, huge part of leading from the front. Okay. My fourth tip. This one is one that all of you know. Can you guys hear Josie? She's like imitating me. It's funny. Okay, the fourth tip, reward and recognize exceptional performance. I love the double R in that, reward and recognize. So it's not just recognition. I like to just send little things, like a little $5 speaker that I found at Target, or things that can help them in their business. It's not like, I don't know, like pencils or something. It is things that they will physically be able to use in their business, like listening to PD in the shower, those little shower boom boxes. I like to reward them with team tank tops. That is huge, you guys. You can make team tank tops for $10 a tank, maybe cheaper. If you do your research, probably. And that will build so much unity on your team. But recognition is so huge. It is so huge. And that is going to be one thing that will propel your leaders and continue their momentum when they are really fired up. If you just say, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you, they're going to be like, that was it. Like, that's all I get. Cool. But they want people to see their success, because that is what we feed off of. We are human beings. We feed off of success. We feed off of failure. And so if we're not feeding that positive, that positive side, then they're probably going to start doubting. They're probably going to go the other way. So we have to continually build them up and speak belief into them and give them those rewards and that recognition that they are wanting in order for them to keep going. And guess what? They're going to start doing the same things with their team, because they know what it feels like. They know how good it feels to be recognized for just something little. Like sometimes even for Success Club, I'll just send out a little something like, so proud of you for helping these people this month, that you're changing lives, and just like a simple, you don't have to take and write a novel, just like a simple reminder that what you're doing matters. And I'm telling you, it makes the biggest difference. And then my last tip, and then I'll stop talking. But I think I even already said it earlier, because it's just one of those affirmations that I say over and over and over again in my head, but it's grow as you go. And that's because I feel like I'm learning all the time, you guys. Like, it's not something that I feel like any of us can be amazing at overnight. Leadership takes work, and it takes practice, and it takes doing these things over and over again and failing over and over again. And once you find something that works, it's building on that, and it's growing even more, and it's learning even more and continuing to build and grow. And I always just tell people, like, if they ever, it's funny because I really feel like I just fake it most of the time. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to fake it until I make it. And eventually it's going to work out. If I fail, then I'll just change it and I'll keep faking it. And it's really not faking it. It's just learning, and it's growing, and it's trying new things and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And maybe you'll try some of these tips that I gave you, and it might not work for your teams. And that's okay. It's just maybe changing it, modifying it, figuring out what your girls, or I shouldn't say girls because some of you probably have men as well, but what your team responds to, how they feel recognized, and how they feel like they can grow with you, how they can become leaders, giving them those opportunities, and just allowing for them to become leaders with you. I think that's the biggest takeaway that I could give you is let your team grow with you. Let them become leaders with you. Don't feel like you have to be doing it alone, because you really don't. And I know that for a long time I felt like I was pulling my team, and it wasn't until I gave them the opportunities. I said, hey, I need you to run this sneak peek. I want you to speak about this. I want you to, and they'll say, well, I don't know. I'm like, here, let me show you an example, and you can kind of make it your own. And when you give them the tools, when you give them those things that they need to feel and believe in themselves, when they feel like they can do it and that you believe in them and they look up to you as a leader, I think that just speaks volumes. And it's going to build collaboration. It's going to build a really unified team, and you guys are going to just keep growing together. So that's kind of what I've got. Hopefully that wasn't too short, but.
No, that was perfect. I know Taryn already put a message, or a comment in there. Do you mind responding to that one?
Yeah. Okay. What percentage do you spend working with your team versus looking for new talent? Yeah. So this was actually something, Arno, before we launched in the UK, I remember watching a training with Arno, and he was talking, a lot of people were asking, like, what do I do? How much time should I spend with the UK, and how much time should I spend with, the US, and how much time should I spend with Canada? And it's like, I honestly, I guess I kind of look at it as like a funnel. Like I'm constantly, so like probably 90% of my time is spent on my business, finding new talent, finding new coaches, finding new challengers, looking for people to help. But I have hired an assistant to do that work, because it's a lot of the stuff that is like the connections. Those are amazing, but it takes a lot of time, right? So, I mean, you could spend 3 hours a day connecting with people, but we don't all have 3 hours a day only to work on connections. So I have hired an assistant and I tell her exactly what to say, exactly who to look for, the types of people, and you want to find someone that kind of vibes with you, so you're attracting the right people. And she goes out and makes the first initial contact. And then I do all the follow-up. I do all the communication. I also use, this is a really awesome, and maybe I shouldn't tell you guys, no, I'm just kidding. This is a really awesome tool, and if you're not using it, I highly recommend it. It's on Instagram. It's called Stim Social. It's STIM. Maybe you've heard of it. STIMSOCIAL, stimsocial.com. You have to look at it. You have to go, it's not an app. So you go to it from your browser. And this is kind of like Instagress, I think. I never used Instagress, so I don't know what Instagress did. But what I really love about Stim Social, and the main purpose that I use it for, is it will instantly send a message after someone follows you. So to all your new followers, and I make sure mine is very real, something I would really write to someone if they were following me. So I usually will say, hey, my name is Melissa. I love, getting to know the people who follow me and who I follow. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm a mom of 3. I love health and fitness. You'll probably notice that on my page. What are some things that you love to do? That's it. And I just open up the conversation. And I can't tell you how many real relationships have been built from that one automated message. I don't have to send it. Some people don't respond. Some people just send a heart back. But the ones who do respond, I would bet 60% of them either become challengers or coaches, because it's the real relationship that is built from the questions that are asked. I think that makes the most difference in our business. So I really love that tool. If you're not using it, I highly recommend it. I pay it's like $39 a month or something. And I've heard if you like don't renew, they'll send you a coupon code. So just a tip if you want to save some money when you're first trying it out. They do have a trial period, but you can't send messages on the trial period. Okay, I saw another question. Do I have favorite PD books for leadership? You guys, I've been reading this book that Britt recommended to us. I love it so much. And I'm only halfway through, but it has been probably one of the best books I've ever read for leadership. It's The Power of Positive Leadership by John Gordon.
They've been told about it. So good. Keep on plugging it. Keep plugging
it. So they already know it. I am obsessed with it right now. And I keep telling everyone I know, I'm like, you have to read this book. It's not just for business. It's for everything. I just think it's so amazing. Another book that I don't know if technically if that would be labeled leadership, but I think it just instills so much hustle, and it talks so much about the hard work that it takes to be successful. It's called Relentless: From Good to Great to Unstoppable. And I really connect with it because it's based on athletics. It's written by the trainer who trained Michael Jordan and LeBron James and all the all-stars from basketball. Hey, come here. Come here. You want to come say hi? My house is a mess. We got home from a trip yesterday. Come here. This is Josie. She took her bow off. She's not cute. Hi. So I love those 2 books. You guys, there's tons of good ones. High Performance Habits by Brennan Burchard. That one's amazing. Relentless is super fast to read, and it's so good that it makes it even faster. Okay, let's see.
And also, ladies, unmute yourself. Interact.
Yeah, you guys can talk to me.
Yeah, talk to her.
Josie will talk back. Okay, can you break down where she finds people for you? Yeah, so I honestly find most of my people from Instagram. She does 50 connects and 50 likes. She's waving to you guys on both Facebook and Instagram. So she's really connecting with a lot of people through both platforms, but she's just, searching hashtags. I'm a mom of 3, so any kind of mom hashtags. I know that Jen Richardson in her National Wake Up Call talked about a few different hashtag, you can things that you can find hashtags that will be most commonly used so that you can get some good interactions. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing fancy. She just goes and searches hashtags that I use. So she'll look at my posts and then go to those hashtags and like and comment on those people who are interacting on those. But she's not just like searching random things. I give her those hashtags, or even sometimes accounts are really good. Like if you have accounts that you really like, have them go to those accounts and then go to the people who are commenting and liking those. It's not just the followers. Don't have them go click on the followers, because most of the time they're dead accounts. Go to the people who are commenting and liking on the posts in those accounts.
I feel like Kelly has a question. How about let's go over to live questions. Kelly, what are you asking?
Kelly.
Okay, I could relate to a lot of what you're saying because I'm a teacher. I'm a high school teacher. I have 4 young kids. And I think for me, I feel like I'm kind of stuck at 3-star because I'm struggling with like the time piece, the managing, just finding time in the day. My youngest isn't in school yet. And so I do teach part-time, but like, I feel like when I'm home with her, I want to be home with her. I do my power hour before they wake up. But where are you able to dedicate this time to moving your business forward? I feel like, again, what you said, I started the year at 3-star last year and I ended at 3-star. And I'm just feeling like I need like an extra hour or 2 every day in order to move my business forward. So I need tips.
So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, well, I'll just make it hypothetical, I guess. But for me, if you're a 3-star, you should be a 5-star, because you have the potential to help at least 3 business centers: your business center, your spouse, and your second CBC. So you have control of 3 accounts that you can get to diamond. So if you're a 3-star and those are your 3 accounts, okay, I get it. If not, if you have other leaders that are diamond, then you need to be focusing on really growing those accounts. And I'm telling you, it's a belief. It's like the fact that you even just said like, oh, I don't know when I'm going to fit in the time. At any time you have, like, here's kind of what I tell my coaches. And it might not be what you want to hear, but I knew what I wanted and I was going to do anything that it took to get there. Literally, when I was walking to the bathroom, I would be following up and connecting with people. When I was sitting on the toilet, I was following up and connecting with people. At lunch, I was following and connecting because I had 0 time. I literally went from, I worked full-time for 2.5 years. So I was working from 7 a.m. until 5 o'clock at night. And then I had kids to take care of and bathe and feed dinner. And then I was exhausted at the end of the night. But I remember watching the Toilet Power Pocket, yes. I was watching Scotty Hobbs and him saying, like, I was sleeping 3 hours a night. Like, I wasn't willing to do that. I knew I couldn't function on 3 hours a night. But I knew I could function on, like, 5.5. So I'd get up at 4:30, I'd work out, I'd post, I'd make a quick video, like a workout video with iMovie, and then I would post that on my lunch break. And then after school, I would be following and connecting in between practice and class. And then I'd go to practice and class, or practice, and I would be all in at practice. And then right after practice ended, I would post before I went home or before I went and got my kids from daycare, because I knew the second I'm with them, I'm spending every second with them, because I don't get to see them all day long. And then the second they go to bed, I'm spending time with my husband. And then when he's going to bed, I'm working for another hour. So I literally think I lived off of 5.5 hours, and people thought I was crazy, but you're eating right. You're drinking Shakeology. You've got your Energize. You've got all the things that you need to help you get through the day. And I'm telling you, like, I was so productive. I was almost more productive when I was crazy busy, because I had no time to lose. I had no time to waste. And I got so intentional that my business was growing better than ever. And I think you just have to look at it like, I'm making this happen and I'm going to find the people who need this because I can relate to them. You almost have to get emotional about it. It almost has to like really tug at your heart. And I promise you, like when you start sharing that in your social media, when people start to feel that, and you have Insta stories now, which we didn't have 2.5 years ago when I was teaching, or else I never used it. I don't know. You can really help people see the vision. You can help people see what's possible for them. And I think teachers have such a hard job because you don't get to work on your business while you're at work. You don't get any time away. Like you're taking care of kids, you know. It's not like when you're at work and you hear people who are like, well, I was on Facebook all day. Like that doesn't happen for teachers. So it's so hard. You just have to get super intentional. And I think just speaking the belief through your posts is going to be the game changer for you. And then just in the pockets. Yeah. The toilet power pocket.
That was awesome.
And then Laura, I want to really quickly tell you. So she's actually a coach on my team who she was stuck at Emerald for a long time. And so I just went to her. I know she knew all the things she needed to do, but she just needed the income. So I just said, hey, if I pay you $10 an hour, will you do these things for me? And she already knew the back office. I didn't have to train her on anything. It was amazing. So if you have any coaches on your team or like on your uplines team who need a little extra income, it will also help their business. Like it will also help them start doing the things that they weren't doing before. They're getting paid to do it, you know. So I found her on my team.
We have time for 2 more questions, and I want you to unmute yourself and communicate, please. If you have a question for Miss Melissa, please unmute yourself.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey.
What activities do you do in your power hour with your coaches?
All of them. So we start out, we have like a power hour sheet that I'm happy to share it with you guys. It's nothing special, but basically we do like connects, we do happy birthdays, we do follow-ups, we do, I'm trying to think of all of them. Oh, we'll even do like business activities. So like going into our back office and checking our drill down. And so they get to see like, oh, I should be doing this every day. Like I've only been doing this once a week. Like once they start checking that, it's going to become a habit and they're going to start doing it every day. But yeah, it's just like the power hour activities. So like 50 likes, 50 comments, 50, yeah, Christine, I remember that. That was so awesome. But it's just the same power hour activities in the BAT that Beachbody gives you. We just made it like a little bit prettier. So I'm happy to share our packet with you, and you can kind of, I don't know if it's a PDF or if it's like a modifiable document, but you could at least see what it looks like and then make it your team. So it has like your team logo and everything. But it's cool because then they see that and they're like, wow, this is really pretty and this looks really fun. And then they like want to fill it out. I'll actually show you. I have a huge notebook. Where is it? That I kept all of my power hours. Oh, my computer's sitting on it from last year. And this was huge for our team. I printed these off for all of my Emerald coaches. It just makes my computer a little bit higher so it looks better. But like, I'll just show you really quick. This is old, but okay. So like, I think they shared the document in the Beachbody Champions page or somewhere, but some Beachbody coach created this. My coach went and made it a little bit different for our team. You just buy it from her, and we just told our coaches, like, go buy this $5 document so we don't feel like we're ripping her off. And then we just made it into like a full-on, like, look how thick that is, you guys. This was for the whole year. But it made me do my daily activities. So I was following up. I was doing friend requests. I was doing Hey Girls. I was doing invites. I was inviting to the coaching opportunity. And then we also, on the other side, have like a schedule. So you could like make a schedule for like calls and team things and vital behaviors, and you can even use your meal planner, but clearly I was pregnant, so that didn't happen. But yeah, I think and then we put all of our vision boards on the front. So it's something you see every day instead of something that you see whenever you pull it up on your computer. So I really liked that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, one more question.
I have a question.
Yeah.
With training, like you mentioned, training your coaches, I'm
Yeah.
guessing from beginner, emerald to diamond, diamond above, and
Yeah.
you put them into just like messages. Is that how you train them? Is that the only training you provide? Like,
No. So those are just like our communication things. So like if I ever see an awesome training or even like an inspirational video, I share it in there. Or if I want to like follow up with them on their goals, like we talk about it. If they have questions, they ask it in the pod. So everyone, people who probably had that question, but maybe were scared to ask it, get to see the response. We have specific trainings for like emerald. So we do emerald dashes, we do diamond dashes, and then we do like diamond and above dashes. But I actually feel like in the last year, the people going for 1 and 2 star have been kind of integrated into our diamond dash, because if they advance, they get just part of that pot. So they're just keeping it all in one place because it's all the same activities, just less to manage. But yeah, I don't know if you guys follow Ruth Schroner on her YouTube. You should. Or I think she's posted a lot of these things in either the champions page or somewhere, but she has done amazing emerald trainings. And honestly, the way she talks about it, it's like, why don't I just say it like that? Because it's so easy and it makes so much sense. And every single coach who has gone through this training that we just kind of revamped using some of her videos, or at least one of her videos, has gone emerald in like a day. Like it takes like 1 week from when they sign up and they're like, it's just a decision. And for some reason, the way she has said it, and we just were like, she says it perfect. We're just going to use her video, because why would we change something that's working? Why would we, So I highly recommend don't feel like you have to recreate the wheel. Use the trainings that these amazing coaches have put out there and help your coaches see the same vision that you have,
I love that. Just one more question. How often do you run your dash to like emerald and diamond? Do you do those monthly?
No, we do them maybe like every 3 months.
Okay. It
just kind of depends. I'll plug my new coaches in though. Like it's still open. It's just not like an active dash. And I'll just say, hey, this is an emerald dash that we did. If you do it within that same time frame, then I'll reward you in the same way. I'll give you this
awesome
reward that we gave them.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. But like I said, I really think, especially right off the bat, at least I was talking with one of my coaches earlier today, and she has so many coaches that are really excited about the business, and she has given them, like, she just told me, she's like, I'm rewarding them. They're in the Emerald Dash, and there's the Team Cup right now. So they're getting a ton of reinforcements for just helping 3 people, for getting 2 coaches signed up and helping 1 more. So there's just a lot of recognition and rewards that are available to them, and you don't even have to pay for that. So utilizing those and just letting them know, like, hey, we've got Team Cup, or every month if you hit Success Club, like, they don't know that they get free stuff. Like that 80-day obsession bundle, that was such a cool reward. And if I would have gotten that my first month, are you kidding me? I'd be stoked, and I'd be way more excited to hit SE every single month if I knew I was getting free stuff. Like, I will do anything for a free t-shirt.
You rock, Melissa. Thank you so much. Any last advice you would like to say to these 3 and 4 star diamonds that are working hard, that want to finish the year strong? Any last words?
I would just say go all in and get your coaches all in with you. And the ones who aren't all in, don't spend your time trying to pull them along. Get the coaches who are all on board with you, because you don't want to waste your energy on the ones that really don't have the same vision as you. And it's okay. Like, it's okay to have someone not want to do what you want to do. You just have to keep going for the ones that do want what you want.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. Thank you all for jumping on. Of course, I will post this replay in our group. And then Melissa, if you just want to, anything that you wanted to share, just send it over to me and I'll put it in our group. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you. Appreciate you all. Thanks, Melissa. Great job, hon. Bye.